the vision I received for this reading from Spirit Babies was, so the moment I entered into that realm to get the message from the Spirit Babies, I felt like they are offering so many different flowers towards me, and I was like, oh my god, like, is this a mistake? Is this for me, or is it like by mistake? It can't be for me. And they said like, it is for you. So I noticed a sense of feeling really unworthy of receiving those flowers in the moment. And just to acknowledge that fact, I checked with the Spirit Babies, okay, is this for the women who are trying to conceive and they feel that they are not worthy enough to receive the love that is being offered to them, or that would be offered to them by the babies? And they said, yes, it could be for the women who are trying to conceive, but it's also for the women who are not trying to conceive, but in their field, they do have this desire to have a baby. So there is some confusion around it. Like that desire still being there and them not trying is creating some kind of confusion in their field. They also said it's definitely for the women who have had losses. So losses two ways. One, where they made a conscious decision to not continue the journey, and also where the loss happened naturally by itself. So yeah, so this is this message is for like so yeah, so that was that. And this intuitive reading is going to be a bit different to the ones that I've done in the past, because this reading went into like having a conversation with the Spirit Babies, like the whole conversation, and they wanted me to go step by step, share everything that we had conversation about step by step on like how it basically happened. So because it was a long one, so I've like made some notes around it so that I don't miss anything. So you might find me looking into my notes just so that I don't miss anything. So yeah, so that was that. And I was also told that like miscarriage, where it's a natural loss, actually also is a choice that one makes, but that choice happens at an unconscious level, where that choice is not in our conscious awareness. So for example, like we still, let's say if we still have something in our subconscious mind that believes that we are not, let's say, worthy of having a baby, or we are not ready enough. So there could be like some kind, so the body listens to the subconscious mind and makes the decision accordingly. So even if it's a miscarriage and not a conscious decision, it's still like a choice that we make, but we make it subconsciously, like unconsciously. Yeah, so I know like some of you are already have some kind of inkling around it, like yes, it's possible. And for some of you, it might come across as like a really big shock as well, that oh my God, like really? So yeah, so there's definitely something that makes you feel unworthy, that needs to be addressed. So that's what it was as well. And then I was also told, like later in the reading, but I'm feeling like mention here, that like the women watching this video are also, like some might or might not have made some kind of a promise to the spirit of the baby as well, after the loss, that they are going to get them back into their life at a later stage. If it's not now, at later stage they will. So they have made like either like a conscious or an unconscious promise that yes, like you will actually come back to my life. And so there's that promise that's in the field as well. And it's also for those who did feel guilt around that decision, whether it was a conscious decision or an unconscious decision. And it's only for those who actually did feel guilty of this decision, who kind of like are carrying or holding on to the self-blame or guilt or shame around making that decision, whether conscious or unconscious. Yeah. So I asked them, okay, like how to heal from this guilt, the self-blame or unworthiness, or that this desire that they're still holding, however not actively trying to conceive. And what they said was like watching this video will help them heal. And in that moment, like because like that changed after like having the full conversation, but in that moment I thought, okay, like I love to create like these videos to hold that loving and accepting and unconditional like loving non-judgmental space in these videos as well for whoever is watching. So probably that would somehow start the healing process, and that would be like a part of healing. So, and then they mentioned that the women like who are watching, they have some kind of like distractions in their life which is not allowing them to focus on conception, or dealing with this self-blame or the guilt that they are carrying. And they're not even aware that actually they are unconsciously creating these distractions, because there's a part of them that do not feel ready to connect with themselves or explore healing for this. They feel that healing is hard work and I'm already going through so much right now, so I can't. But what they're not aware of is what they are going through, like all of that is actually they are unconsciously creating, so that they don't have to, because a part of you is not ready to actually deal with this guilt, like it feels too much. So yeah, so unconsciously you are somehow like creating distractions in your life so that you don't have to actually deal with it, which is fair enough, right? And they said yes, like it is like healing can feel like hard work sometimes, because it's a cycle where there's a time that we create foundations for healing and there's a time when we reap the rewards. And that time when we are creating the foundations, it might seem like really long, the way we look at the journey that we are going through. So I asked, okay, so how can we help support them heal, like you heal, without forcing the part of you that is not ready to heal? Okay, so that's what I asked. I was like, okay, like tell me, like what can we do about it? And they said, like by shifting your perspective, and by anchoring yourself back into your true feelings, not the one your mind is creating as its job to support the thoughts they are allowing in their field. Yeah. So basically, like what I was reminded of was that I love flowers, okay? So I love flowers, and the moment I entered that intuitive sacred space to get the message, the kind of reactions I had to flower was like, oh my God, like I'm not worthy, like is it a mistake? Why am I getting this? Must be some mistake. But actually, like every time I go into this space and if the spirit is waiting for me with the flowers, like I feel so loved and special. So that was my real feelings for flowers. But for the sake of reading, to know like how the viewers are feeling, how whoever is watching the video, I felt the emotions that were created by the thoughts versus my real feelings about the flowers, which is I usually feel like really welcomed and loved and special, that the spirit like did this gesture of like welcoming me with the flowers. So what they are saying is that it's important for you to shift your perspective. It's important for you to anchor yourself back. So the moment you go into, okay, unworthiness, it's not for me, and then you anchor yourself back into, okay, this is the emotions my mind is creating, possibly based on the thoughts it's taking in from the universal mental field, but I need to anchor myself back into the thing that, hey, I'm feeling really loved through in this moment. So I said, okay, so instead of feeling unworthy, these women are actually feeling really loved, and that's their real feeling. So I asked, like, so they are consciously avoiding, like, so are like these women consciously avoiding to feel loved, or unconsciously avoiding to feel loved? But like, what will they get from doing that? And they said that the women are punishing themselves. So I was like, okay, so are you saying they don't deserve punishment? So they said, whatever happened during that time, their choice they made was what they planned to go through in this lifetime, and what like the spirit babies wanted to experience too, which is not come into this physical lifetime, but just being there as babies in the spirit. They said for them it was the right decision to listen to their body in that moment, and we could literally feel how difficult that decision was for them. They should be proud of themselves to cut through the mental noise and make that self-loving decision. So at soul level, you are feeling really loved by yourself, And know that here we are celebrating the learning you had and the learning we have had from the choice that you have made. So basically what they're trying to say is that as like really old, highly compassionate souls, like souls that have seen like everything, right? Like with living like thousands of lifetimes, if not like more than that. We know like how it feels like to feel anything. So it's really hard for us to forgive ourselves if we believe that we have made a mistake, or we have made a wrong choice. So this is basically what your soul wanted to really experience through this. Because if you felt guilt, the guilt is like a really momentary emotion, and it happens for just like a moment. And it's a sign that tells us, hey, like what we just did, it was something that we wouldn't do at our like soul level. However, so like in that moment it happens, that guilt, like just to remind you, just to create that connection with your soul, that hey, like this has been done, but probably at the soul level we might not have done it. But what we end up doing is we end up carrying that guilt for not even years, but like across lifetimes, so that we can punish ourselves for the wrong that we have done, assumed wrong. Because like what we are not looking at is the truth of living in a physical reality. Because the decision that was taken, although like your soul might not have taken at soul level, but the truth is also that your soul at the moment is experiencing a physical reality, and living a physical reality, the truth that you had in that moment was that you are not ready for continuing this journey, whether consciously or unconsciously, and you honored your truth in the physical reality in the right now, and as a self-loving decision you made that choice. But what happens with the highly compassionate souls is we just like don't understand the concept of self-forgiveness, making mistakes and learning and experiencing things. So our soul, like your soul, whoever has gone through this experience, wanted to experience an act of self-forgiveness in this lifetime by going through that experience. And that's what they are saying, that it was the right decision to listen to their body in that moment. So I don't know if you remember, but in the end they mentioned that we are celebrating here the learning that you have had and the learning that we have had. And I was like, okay, that's interesting. What is the learning that you have had, like the spirit babies? Excuse me. And they said that we got to witness a beautiful moment of when these women, when they made that choice, they made that choice out of fear in that moment, accepting the truth of physical reality, which is part of living on earth, right? Where our body has limits, and those limits are sacred too. So they said like we saw them honoring their truth, respecting their capacity, and listening to their body signals, which to them was an act of deep inner loyalty. They said like, so they did make a choice, accepting the truth of their physical reality, like that's what we witnessed. But we also witnessed them listening to the whisper of the soul. It was the moment when the guilt came, but it was supposed to be a momentary sign just from your soul to let you know that, hey, something has happened that is not in alignment with us. So they said like, what we do not see is like not perfection or not fearlessness, like there was like that's not what we were seeing. What we were seeing was self-honoring. And they said like sometimes self-love can look like, I can't do this right now, or this isn't the path I can walk, or like I'm choosing myself, which is really hard for like highly compassionate people. So yeah, so like this was the whole message basically I got. And I also want to mention that like this message is not about whether making this conscious decision or the subconscious choice is spiritually a right or wrong decision. That's not what this video is about. This message is more about like understanding that, hey, my soul wanted to go through this experience so that I can allow myself to not ignore what my truth is in this moment of living a life in a physical reality. Yes, there are like higher truths as well, which is my soul saying, hey, not in alignment. But the truth is also that I'm living in a physical reality. I'm living in a physical body. And this physical body does have some limitations. And that I do want to respect. I do want to honor those things. And also, even if it was a mistake, you believe, right? Even if you take it as a mistake, your soul wanted to make you learn self-forgiveness, which is a really hard thing for you to do. Because like that's the message. Like, so when I was doing the whole like, okay, how do we help support these women heal? Like this message kept coming up again and again, self-forgiveness. But it kind of like didn't make sense to my logical mind in that moment. So I was like, yes, I'm noticing this, downloading this thing, but I kind of like didn't write it. But now like when the whole message kind of made sense to my logical mind, now I can see like why self-forgiveness was like the whole point of like the whole thing that the spirit babies wanted to tell us about. So like this is not the end of the video actually, although it's quite a long one, but how like that intuitive reading, so I did it like a couple of days back in the morning, early morning, and it ended with like, okay, they were giving like flying kisses as like love hearts, and they were saying bye-bye. And after some time, like in the evening, I felt like connecting again, and I was told that's like a final bye kind of a thing. It's like this is like we have learned, so you have not just like given us like made us feel loved, because we could see like how hard the decision was for you, and the kind of love that you have offered, but we also learned like a really beautiful self-loving lesson from you, seeing you making that decision, and now like it's our time to make that self-loving decision and move on in our journey. Because so far they had been around, and they wanted to support you through this guilt, and probably like the soul contract that they had with you wasn't over. And with this healing, they are saying that they can see how it will be a self-loving decision for us to move on to our next journey. So yeah, so there was like a lot of gratefulness about like I've written as well. So it felt like they were in your field all this time, and you were both like giving each other your life force energy, and they have made a self-loving decision to go back to the other side now, and this is what they were here to learn. So you have not just made them feel loved, but you have also taught them a valuable self-love lesson. And they said like, you see it now, and so do we, and you didn't abandon us, you honored yourself, and our connection was never about birth, it was about soul remembering, and you have remembered, so I can go now, and I'm so proud of you. So yeah, so they said like it's now your time to work on releasing the guilt and the shame and the self-blame that you're holding on to, and like anchor into the honoring of the decision that you have made, to get clarity on the desire that you're still holding in your field, however not trying to conceive. So yeah, and also to let go of the promise you made to the spirit, just by the power of intention. And like how like you can help release the guilt is by anchoring into your real feelings about this whole situation, and of course like self-forgiveness. So I am also, so I don't know if you remember that in the beginning of the video, I mentioned like how I asked them, okay, like how can we help, support, heal? And they said like through this video. So what I'm also being called is to send you some Reiki healing energy right now. However, if this is something that you do not believe in, or you're not interested in right now, or you want to come back later, like it's your choice, and you can like you can still, if you want, you can still watch or listen, but you can just like create an intention that, hey, like I don't want to be participate in this healing, and that will take care of the fact that you're not receiving the healing, because healing happens with permission. So, and but like if you are someone who wants to receive this healing, then feel free. And what I'm gonna do is, I'm just gonna imagine that all of you, whoever is watching this video and have said to the healing, you are like with the power of intention in the palm of my hands, because we are all connected every time, and we are connected already. So I'm gonna use like a Reiki symbol to ground your energy in a way so that you feel your real emotions. And what that will help you do is, the moment you start feeling your real emotions, the energy of guilt, shame, and self-blame will start releasing from your body. Yeah, so it will make you feel like relaxed and relaxed and relaxed, and like with a really clear mind, quiet mind, so that you can take whatever is the next step, whatever comes up for you to take to wrap up this healing. So yeah, so I'm going to do this, and you can, whether you can like close your eyes or keep your eyes open, but like all I want you to do is just like be open to receive. And if you're someone who's just watching and do not want to receive, then you can do whatever you want. You can just watch me doing this. Yeah, so let's do it. Thank you so much for watching this video. And yeah, it's a like, I'm sorry you had to go through this experience in the physical lifetime. And yeah, I'm really sorry about that, and lots of love and sending a lot of healing your way. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you.